Alright, so yo, what is up YouTube? It is your boy, Itsmichaelowl here, and today guys, if you guys can't tell already, I'm sick! No, I'm not just sick of KingsIsle not giving us a crown sale and them dropping new packs like it's just alright. No, I'm not just sick of that. I'm literally I'm literally sick, bro. So I mean, as you guys might have known, there is a whole bunch of new stuff that happened with Test Realm recently, besides the new dungeon and the kiosk and spell writing and all that stuff. I want to make videos on that separately, but I mean, I feel like I'm a little too late for those. But I mean, I purposely waited for this one, bro. I purposely waited for this PvP Test Realm spell change stuff to be in effect because I wanted to see other people's opinions first and then calculate everything on Twitter and then videos and then just put it all in my head and just formulate a good, better, mediated opinion on everything. But first off, we're just going to read what they said about the potential PvP changes. So they said, Wizards, if you haven't seen the new update notes, there are 3 important potential PvP changes that we want to evaluate this week starting November 4th in Test Realm. Guardian Spirit has been changed to no PvP, Lore Master has been rebalanced to be more in line with its rank, and Bread and Rampage has had its delay damage effect trigger after 3 rounds instead of 2. And if you guys didn't know, all over Twitter, Matt Nedick and like a whole bunch of different developers, Ratbeard I think too, they've been all like engaging with the community, asking us PvP questions, we've been giving them, I'd want to say good feedback. I mean, not everybody on Twitter does PvP, or if they do it, they don't do it well. So, I mean, you can't trust everybody's opinion, but I feel like for the most part, they're learning to grasp PvP and the aspect of what we like and what we don't like about it more and more. As long as they keep on asking us questions and stuff about it, I feel like eventually we'll have PvP. I don't want to say perfect, but I mean, just way better than what it is now. Their goal is to remake PvP into a fair and fun system that will encourage more players to participate in matches. We want to start off with straightforward changes, so that way we may start collaborating with our PvP community to gather feedback. We can all jump into PvP matches and test out the changes and talk about them after we've had a chance to get used to them. Once we give it a fair shake, we can either keep the changes, say, hey, this feels and plays well, let's stick with this one, reject them, wow, that seemed like a great idea at the time, but no, or they can continue to tweak them. This spell has been going in the right direction, but needs a little bit of work. And pretty much that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. But a few important things to know before we move on is that just because the change goes in a Test Realm or even Live Realm does not mean that it will remain that way forever. So I mean, keep that in note, and once the changes are available, please go check them out before you form an opinion. Sometimes the change isn't as bad or as good as it may seem initially, and good, constructive, concise feedback is extremely helpful, and that's what we're doing today. I'm gonna rank like my likeness of the spell changes from best to worst. So the first spell that I'm gonna be talking about is Burning Rampage and how they changed it from 2 rounds later to 3 rounds later. So I mean, that's a pretty big change. Burning Rampage was always kind of broken in the sense that where like, if a fire is first and these Burning Rampage, unless you're like a god and you can predict it that round, 9 times out of 10 you're either going to be stuck shielding and then they'll just fire beetle your shield off, or they'll just FFA or whatever they can to get your shield off, and then you'll take that damage, and then including the Burning Rampage damage. But that's one of the things that's made Burning Rampage just so broken, because I mean, when a fire is first and they use it, there's literally like no counter to it unless you already have had 2 shields on stacked already. But now with it being 3 rounds, if you use it from second, it's pretty much a lost cause at that point, because I mean, it'll give your opponent not just 1 round but 2 rounds to find a triage or a shift, and the initial damage will only do however much it does, maybe 70, maybe 90, I don't really recall right off rip, just to break off their shields or whatever. And then after that, they can either triage it and then you end up wasting 5 pips, or they could shift it and then you just take all the damage that you were going to do to them onto yourself. The way the spell is now, it's kind of like a toss-up. It could be better because I mean, in some cases you can either have 2 extra rounds to trap them, or you know, buff up the Burning Rampage damage, or in some cases your opponent gets 2 rounds or 3 rounds to shift or triage your Burning Rampage. So I mean, it just really depends on how you want to look at things. I think this is one of the better changes, because I mean, I used to hate getting Burning Rampage from second, because I mean, if I try to predict it and then I can't, I end up wasting a round anyway, and then they just do more damage to me, so that just kind of sucks. And it pretty much, the way PvP is now, the turn-based system, if you mess up in 1 round of a match, that could dictate the entire match, especially if you're second. But with it being 3 rounds now instead of 2, it allows people to, you know, prepare themselves for it, maybe shield again, maybe pull a triage. That's why I'm saying this spell being 3 rounds instead of 2 rounds is alright, I guess. It just depends on how you look at it, and I'm looking at it through a better lens, because I mean, unless they fix the turn-based system, like going first and going second, then I mean, that's pretty much the best option for this spell, because I mean, Burning Rampage was way too good with it only being 2 rounds. So we're gonna test out Burning Rampage right now and show you guys how it would work. Alright, so we are second. So I use Burning Rampage from second. Now look. So normally this is 1 round where they get to shield or whatever, and then I could Fire Beetle or break their shield, but I'm just gonna pass because I'm not gonna shield on myself. I'm controlling both. So normally it would burn, and then they could either shield or triage or whatever if they were lucky to pull it. And now this should be the round that it should go off. But let's double check. It didn't even go off. So now that's an extra round for them to try to pull something. So I think this is the round that it might go off with the new change. If I was first, it would be way better for the person that was second. But if I'm using it from second, it doesn't really give me that much of an advantage. So I mean, it just really depends. Yeah, so went off this round. And it still does mass damage, you guys. Like, it's not like the damage has been nerfed or anything. It just casts 1 round late. So all in all, I'm fine with the Burning Rampage change. It gets an okay from me. Now moving on to life. I feel like the life change is a bit too much, boys. I mean, like, yo. I mean, Guardian Spirit being no PvP is kind of crazy, because I mean, like, you're not gonna use Guardian Spirit in PvE. Like, there's no boss that requires you to have to die and come back. So yeah, I put only Guardian Spirits in my deck, and they're not PvP. They're not even showing up. And by the way, KingsIsle, this is another problem with PvP. I mean, look, this is the first round of the match. I'm second. My fire is first, and he has a Shad first round. What do? Before I can even cast a spell, my fire could use a spell that does half of my health instantly. That's crazy. With Guardian Spirit, I feel like it definitely 100% needs a nerf, because I mean, the way it is now, I've seen people come back with more health than they have started out with the match. So say if I have 7,302 health, I've seen people die and come back with like 8,000 health. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how do you die and then you come back with more than what you started with? You know what I'm saying? And now I don't really know how to feel about life PvP now, because I mean, life never really does get good spells for PvP. I mean, if Guardian Spirit isn't the best life spell there is, then I mean it's a close second. And without Guardian Spirit, I feel like a lot of lives are not gonna do PvP as much. Maybe 2v2s or tournaments, but people don't do ranked 2v2s like that anymore anyway. So I mean, maybe just tournaments where they can jade and stuff. But I mean, 1v1s, I feel like a lot of lives are just gonna fall off, because I mean, life doesn't have that many good of hitting spells. Especially like the thing with the life scion. I mean, the life scion is the only scion that heals, and it's for 11 pips. Who is healing for 11 pips? But I digress. I feel like life itself just needs a lot more like useful attacking spells than what they normally have. So I definitely 100% do not like this change, and I wish that it could be changed. Guys, I literally created a balance just for Lore Master. That spell is just too good for any school to have. So we're on the balance now, and just look at my deck, bro. Look, I only used to carry only Lore Masters, and these are I think Gargantuan and maybe Colossal Enchanted. A Colossal Enchanted Lore Master plus 300 does 535. That's so bad, bro. Like, a regular enchanted, Lore Master is doing almost the same thing as a Scorpion. And that's crazy. A Scorpion is only half the pips. I feel like the problem with Lore Master was not the damage. The damage was not the problem. The problem was, at low level and at max, people just fizzle. People, it's like a 4-pip stun pretty much, that they can just spam every round. The damage wasn't the main issue. The main issue was the 2 effects that it gave after the damage. So I mean, it used to give a 20 weakness and a 35 mantle, and I think that was the biggest problem. Fire has a spell that gives a 45 mantle, and it's Krampus, and to me, I feel like when somebody uses Krampus on you, you rarely ever fizzle. But it feels like with Lore Master, you always fizzle, even if it's a Tower Shield or one of your own school hits. Like, you're always fizzling a Lore Mantle, no matter what. So I mean, I feel like that's crazy. Lore Master right now, the way it is right now, is kind of pointless. I feel like the damage probably should have stayed, but maybe keep the effects the same. Or maybe just a little bit less damage than it was before, and keep the same effects as it has now. Because, I mean, at low levels, if somebody uses Lore Master on you, at that level, you don't really have that much accuracy anyway. So, I mean, that's almost like a 100% fizzle for you. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty crazy. I'm pretty devastated about how hard Lore Master got nerfed. So if you guys want to give me any of you guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below about those 3 spells, Burning, Guardian, and Lore Master, let me know any of your thoughts down in the comment section down below. You can rank them too. Just go 1 to 3, best to worst. And I just want to see what you guys have to say. So we are now on one of my favorite places to be. If you guys haven't already, make sure to follow me on Twitter. I post a lot of great stuff there. So we're gonna go to my boy Matt Netic here. He follows me and I follow him back. Yo, he's like, yo, he's a developer, and that makes me feel kind of special. So I mean, anyway, back when this change first dropped into Test Realm, so he made a post about the Test Realm changes, and then people just I don't want to say went off, but I mean, people were praising and people were like, you know, giving out a lot of different opinions. So we're just going to read off a few of them, and you guys can tell me some of your opinions on this comment section down below as well. Why not make Guardian Spirit just a one-time use like Reshuffle? I mean, that's, I don't know how they would do that, like, like just blank out like these 3 slots, just have one for Guardian Spirit. I don't know if that would really work. Guardian Spirit, I feel like you should be able to use it as many times as you want, but it shouldn't be able to bring you back with more than your max health. Like, I feel like it shouldn't, like, I feel like it shouldn't take the stats into account. Like, I feel like if you have incoming and outgoing, if you have Sanctuary up or whatever, it shouldn't just count that. It should bring you back at like a certain amount of health. It should bring you back at whatever it says. It should bring you back at 15% health. Because I mean, if you're coming back with 15% health, that's not that much to really work with. You could shield, you could stun block, you could maybe use a fairy. But I mean, other than that, 15% health is not that much. But it became broken when people started getting more than that 15% back. I fucking love you. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that they're changing something. But I mean, I feel like there's still a lot of work that could be done. I still think that Lore Master should be 5 pips. I feel like with the way it is now, it should be 4 pips, but just a little bit more damage. If they were going to keep it the way it was before with like the 20 weakness and the 35 mantle, then definitely should be 5 pips. The Guardian Spirit nerf needs to be at 7% of health, unaffected by stats. The Lore Master nerf seems fine, and the ramp nerf doesn't do much since fire can just follow through with an elf for the same effect. Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that, bro. Yeah, fire can just Burning Rampage into elf, and then beetle, and then done. But I mean, still, that's just a lot more work that they would have to do in order to get it successfully off. So I mean, yeah, fire. That's what I'm saying. Fire's one is really like, you know, it's a good change. Like that's not bad. Fire one could even be considered a buff. Smooth Black, I think that the Lore Master nerf is quite harsh, making the spell almost not worth at all. Maybe change the weakness back to 20 while keeping the rest. I think the effects are fine, bro. Just a little bit more damage is cool. You're a hero. Yes, yes, yes. I feel like I'm done reading off a lot of these opinions, because I mean, they're all pretty much gonna say the same thing. Just a little rework, a rechange. Just depends on what KingsIsle ends up finalizing and deciding to do. But there are a bunch of honorable mention spells that are just way too good. For example, Balance has Mana Burn. I feel like Mana Burn should be changed or just way different. Mana Burn takes away 3 pips, and I mean, I know that Mana Burn has already had a nerf, so I feel like spells like Mana Burn, Supernova, Abominable Weaver, WIILL, Live Scion, Insane Bolt, I feel like all those spells just need to be a little bit reworked or just changed in some type of way, because I mean, all of those spells really break PvP too. And I want to make a separate video addressing to KingsIsle what other spells they should be giving a look into. If you guys have any spells that you guys want me to add to that video, make sure to comment it down in the comment section down below. I'd really appreciate that. But I mean, I feel like that's gonna be the end for this video, you guys. Let me know any of you guys' thoughts. Like I said, once again, hit me up on Twitter, Discord, Twitch, all that jazz. Links are all in the description down below. But yeah, guys, make sure to hit that like button, tap subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications to know whenever I post a video. And I'll see you guys in whatever else I do next. Still it, guys.